Hello everyone, thanks for checking out this special episode of Nerd Caliber. This is Manny, and I am here with...
Lost Sanity Cosplays.
So tell me, what are you cosplaying? This looks amazing.
Thank you. I'm cosplaying Gale of Waterdeep from Baldur's Gate 3 in the Wave Mother robe specifically.
Oh, okay. The outfit looks amazing. Tell us about it. Like, how did you put that together?
So this is actually the first garment I have ever patterned and sewn from scratch. I made a tape cast, or rather, my mom wrapped me in cellophane and construction tape, and we made a cast of my body. And then I turned the cast into a paper pattern, and then from the paper pattern, I made multiple pieces of the robe, one piece for the lining, and then one piece for the exterior shell. And then I hand sewed all that together, and then hand trimmed the entire thing, and then the armor and jewelry is all 3D printed. So
You make it sound so easy, but it sounds really complicated.
no, it took me about a year, start to finish, mostly because at the same time I was doing classes and then working, and so I had to do it off and on. And then I also did the wig as well. I styled the wig, and then I made the beard. I'd never done lace facial hair before. I typically paint on my facial hair. It's a little bit of a holdover from being a drag king. But I did lace facial hair for the first time, and I basically got like a big beard. It was kind of made me look Amish a little bit, and I cut that apart and then crazy glued it back together, and then made a beard that looked more like Gale's from the...
Would you say that was the hardest part about this cosplay?
The hardest part of this cosplay, I would say, was actually the sewing. Only because it took so long and it was so tedious and repetitive that like my fingers would lock up. And there were times where I'd have like calluses on the tips of my fingers because I would be doing the same motion continuously. I think the wig and the beard were my favorite parts of it because I had the most creative freedom. I'm doing a hairstyle that is a modded hairstyle in the game. It's not his actual hairstyle.
Okay.
So I got to have a little creative license with that. And because I had never worked with lace facial hair before, what I did for the beard was a little bit of an experiment. And I love experimenting in cosplay. That's part of the reason why I finally wanted to make a garment from scratch, is because I love doing new things I haven't tried out before, expanding my skill set. And so I think the hardest part was definitely all of the sewing, but the most rewarding part was all of the new things that I got to do along the way.
Oh, wow. If I may ask, why this character? Why did you choose to cosplay this character?
Oh my goodness, well, I love Gale. I think that he is such like a cute nerd who's very misunderstood in the games by people who call him a pick-me. And I wanted to do him, I wanted to cosplay him. I had cosplayed Astarion before, I've cosplayed Gortash, but I wanted to cosplay Gale. But his outfit in the game was a little too blasé for my taste, and I thought he deserved a bit of a fabulous upgrade. I mean, you have so many other characters in the game where their base outfits are just iconic and fun, and you get to do a lot of things with it. And Gale's is a robe. He's very practical. But I think nerds should be sexy too, so I got to give him a little bit of a glow up for that sake.
Let's talk a little bit about the staff and the shoulders.
Sure. The staff is courtesy of Amazon, so I did not make this. The shoulders I had help with Colonial Armory, Sky of Colonial Armory.
He's amazing.
He is the nicest guy. If he sees this, Sky, you are the nicest guy. He helped me because he has print beds that are bigger than my print beds, and he was able to fit the shoulders and the collar piece. The original STL files for this print are from Kujalice. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they initially did a Wave Mother build for Astarion, and very graciously were selling the files. So I got the original files, reformatted them to fit with my body, and sliced and printed those on my own, and then sent Sky the ones that wouldn't fit on my print beds. And then he also very graciously taught me how to use power sanders and kind of gave me a crash course in how to do like big 3D printed builds. So sanding things, melting flyaways. I used a candle, I guess, for the aesthetic of it. I don't know. And then hand painted everything. And then all of the chains, all the chain parts on this were all done by hand, which was also really tedious. And it's all held together by magnets, actually, which is why that just fell. So,
So you mentioned you're working on this for a year, or at least. If you had to start this all over again, would you do anything different?
I did have to start it all over again. So I had this probably 25% done, and then I moved. And in the move, the box that this cosplay was in, it had all of the 3D prints done. It had the first rendition of this pattern done, was thrown away. And that was one of the hardest moments in my cosplay career. because I had spent so long on it. I'd put so much of myself into it, and then to have it just in an instant just disappear. And there was no one to blame. It was a genuine accident. I had to take like 2 months off. I just hit burnout so hard. And then when I got back into it, I realized that like, if this is something that's truly important to me, if this is something that I truly want to push myself to do, because this was a challenge, I wanted this to be a challenging build, then I was going to face moments like that. And I had to realize that ultimately it's just a cosplay, it's for fun, and I can approach it with a more positive attitude. And from then on, the second time I went about doing it, when I hit roadblocks, rather than seeing them as roadblocks, I was seeing them as opportunities for problem solving. And I would phone a friend, phone Sky, phone someone else who has more experience, stitching with a certain type of stitch or something. And it became a little bit more of like an exploratory project rather than just an end goal one, where the end goal was making the outfit. Now I was more appreciating the journey to get there, which sounds cliche, but it's actually a really nice mindset to have. Yeah.
Wow, well, this is fantastic. If anyone wants to follow more of your work, where can they go online?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Lost Sanity Cosplays. I have a public account, and it is Lost Sanity Cosplays _gallery, and that's where you'll find a curated collection of more of my stuff. But yeah.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
And to our viewers out there, thank you for watching. Be safe out there. We'll see you next time.